Hey guys, it's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am here testing out the new Tatibeauty Blendiful. I did half my face with the Blendiful and half my face with a Real Techniques sponge and a few brushes. So let me know right now. Comment down below before you watch the rest of this video and let me know what side you guys think the Blendiful is on and what side you guys think the Real Technique sponge is on. What do you guys think? Comment down below before you watch this video. So yes, I'm going to be doing one side with the Real Technique sponge and one side using a Blendiful. I'm going to go throughout my day and then check back in with you guys, see which one held up better. Was it the Real Technique sponge or was it the Blendiful, and is this really worth your money? So yes, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe down below, and if you guys want to see how the Blendiful worked against a Real Technique sponge, let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. I am so excited. So on this half right here, I'm going to be using the Tati Blendiful, and then on this half, I'm going to be using my Real Technique sponge as well as a few brushes. So I'm sure you guys already know what the Tati Blendiful is. It's basically just like a puff, but it's meant to do your entire face and have no harsh lines, really no pores, and be really seamless. So I'm really excited. You guys know I love using my sponge. I feel like it soaks up any excess product, doesn't make you look cakey, and I really love the Real Techniques one. So I'm nervous, but I'm excited because Tati is beautiful and her skin, her makeup always looks so good, and I know she always says she uses a puff, so I'm really excited for this. So first I'm going to go in with primer. This right here is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. You guys know I've been really liking this. Now, she said you can use primers and stuff like that, so we're going to do that. I'm a little bit nervous. What I normally do is just take some on my finger and apply it wherever I need it. So I'm going to be applying it to my cheeks, chin, and forehead. Here, up close and personal so you guys can see everything. So, just smoothing that out. Feels really nice. I thought it was going to feel like really weird, but it doesn't feel weird at all. It feels really nice, actually. So the primer looks the same. I don't think the primer would do anything differently. It looks the exact same because it's just the primer. It's just clear. So that's that with the Blendiful. Now I never use my Real Technique sponge to apply primer. So I'm just going to take this and apply it normally like I do with my finger. Okay, so that right there is my primer on with the Blendiful, and then this side is my primer on just with my finger. So for foundation, I want to use something that, of course, I'm used to, that I really love, and I know it works well on my skin. So for that, you guys already know, I'm going to be taking my NARS Natural Radiant Foundation and mixing these two shades to get the perfect one. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the sponge side first. I'm just going to dot this all over my skin like I normally would. Going in with my sponge, I'm going to be tapping that. I don't like to rub with the sponge. I know the Blendiful, she says you can rub. For this, I'm going to tap. So as you guys can see, that right there is with my Real Technique sponge. Looks like it usually does, really nice, really glowy, and overall just looks really nice. It didn't take that long, probably about less than a minute to do the one side of my face. And as you guys saw, I did tapping motions to get this look. But you know, it looks really good. It's not cakey, and yeah, it just looks the same like usual. Okay, so now I'm super excited to do the Blendiful side. So just taking what's ever left over. Okay, so in her video, she says to kind of rub it, so that's what we're gonna do. I never usually do that, so I'm a little nervous. Okay, so right here is with the one side with the Blendiful. I really liked how it was big enough, so my whole face, it took like a second to do. That was really nice, and then you could fold it to kind of get around your nose, to get around your eyebrows, which was great. So what side do you guys like better? I think they both look the same. They're really nice and dewy still, which is great. And I definitely think I have more coverage with the Blendiful, just a little bit, but barely any difference. But yeah, so far it's looking really good. So let's go ahead and move on to concealer. Okay, so for concealer, I'm going to be taking my Too Faced Multi Sculpting Youth Concealer in Snow. First, I'm going to start off with of course, the Real Technique side. And I'm going to highlight underneath my eyes, my forehead, And then, I don't know how to do the nose ever. So I'm just going to do like half of my nose right there. Just on the tip, and then my chin. So taking my Real Technique sponge and tapping the product in. Okay, so that right there is with the concealer using the Real Technique sponge. Now going in and doing the same thing with the Blendiful. So I'm going to take the same side I used for my foundation and kind of just pinch it and tap. I'm going to tap and rub, kind of the same thing with the foundation. So this is the side right here using the Blendiful. So I don't really see a difference. Like I said before, the Blendiful definitely offers a little bit more coverage because it's not damp, so it's not soaking up as much product as a Real Technique sponge. But so far, again, I'm not seeing a huge difference. Let me know down below so far if you guys can see a difference. Hopefully when I apply the powder and stuff, you'll be able to see it a little bit more. Okay, so now moving on to cream contouring. I don't normally do this, but I wanted to do this for the sake of this video because she does use the Blendiful for that. So I'm going to go back in with the Too Faced concealer and use a darker shade, Warm Sand. It is a little bit too dark. So I'm going to mix it on the back of my hand with the concealer just to lighten it a little bit because it's definitely a little too orange. I'm going to take that and dot it on my skin. I feel like it blends better when I do that. Taking my Real Technique sponge and tapping that in. Okay, so that is my cream contouring with the Real Technique sponge. Blends it out really nicely like usual and looks really seamless. So I'm really liking this like I normally do. I'm going to do the same thing with the Blendiful. I'm going to dot it. So I'm just going to take the same side and just take a little bit of that product onto the sponge. And I know she said you can like contour with this, so. So immediately off the bat, I love how this blends out cream contour. I really, really love this side. I think this side looks so much more airbrushed with the cream contour as opposed to this side. And again, I really like how I can fold it and kind of get in there and get nice and precise. I really, really love how that did my cream contour. It looks so much better than the Real Technique side. Again, let me know what you guys think down below. Okay, so I'm super excited. We're going to go in with powders now. So to set all of that, I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. And I normally do use my Real Technique sponge to set under my eyes. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this as well. My sponge. And then patting this under my eyes. And taking what's ever left over and just putting it everywhere. Okay, so that right there is my face set using the Real Technique sponge. I love how that does that because it soaks up any extra product. It doesn't make you look too dry or cakey. So I'm curious to see what the Blendiful does because again, it's not wet, so it doesn't soak up any extra product. But that right here is with the Real Technique side. my Blendiful and the same side, I'm going to tap into that. Wow. Okay, that's a lot. That right there is the powder with the Blendiful. I really loved how it used that powder. It made me look really nice and airbrushed and really full coverage. The only difference is with the both sides, again, this side is a little bit more full coverage, a little bit more airbrush. So to go ahead and bronze, I'm going to take my favorite, the Allure Mercier #1 bronzer. And for the Real Techniques side, I am going to be using a brush just because that is what I normally would use if I am using my Real Techniques sponge. I never go ahead and use that with any powder products like this. So I'm just taking that and applying this wherever I applied the cream contour. Just tapping it first and then going in and rubbing it. That right here is using a brush on the Real Techniques side. The same side for each. I don't really see a problem with it. So I'm going to be taking that and the Blendiful, tapping that. I'm nervous, doesn't feel right. I'm tapping that in there. And let's just see. We're going to tap. Okay, so that right here is using the Blendiful. It definitely looks really nice and seamless. It looks better than I thought it was going to look. I thought it was going to look really muddy and hard to blend, but it was so easy to blend using this. So that right here is with the Blendiful side with the bronzer. Okay, so now going in for blush, I'm going to be taking this one by MAC in the shade Rosy Outlook. Going in with a blush brush for the Real Techniques side. Just brushing it backwards. Okay, so that right there is the Real Techniques side using a brush for my blush. Going in with the Blendiful, same side, tapping that. Okay, so that right there is using the Blendiful for my blush. And again, I really love how this applies powder. It makes it look nice and airbrush and not too harsh. So that right there is with the Blendiful side. Okay, so now for highlight, I'm really nervous but super excited for this. So for highlight, I'm going to go in with the Allure Mercier highlighter #1. And for the Real Techniques side, I'm taking the Morphe M510 brush. Okay, so that right there is with the brush for the Real Techniques side for my highlighter. Okay, so the moment I've been waiting for is highlight using the Blendiful. So taking that same side, tapping the product. So again, that is the Blendiful with my highlight. Now I'm going to settle that using the Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. Now as you guys know, usually I spray this and then take my sponge and kind of dab it all in just so it kind of absorbs and looks nice and airbrushed. So I'm going to be doing that with the Blendiful as well as the Real Technique one. So I'm going to do the Real Technique side first. Taking the sponge and lightly tapping that all in. Right there is the Real Technique side set. Doing the same thing with the Blendiful. that. I'm going to take it on the other side. Just lightly tap that in. Okay, so that right there is setting it using the Blendiful. Looks really good, really airbrushed, so that's what that looks like. Okay, I'm going to finish my lips and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I have my lip on. I'm going to zoom you in so you guys can see really up close. So that's all it goes. So here is the side with the Blendiful. The side with the Real Technique sponge and a few brushes. Okay guys, so this is the look right here, the Real Technique side and then the Blendiful. I honestly am not sure which side I like better. I thought there was going to be like a really big difference. I guess, yes, I definitely can see that the Blendiful definitely filled in my pores a little bit more on my cheek area, which I have most of my pores, as opposed to this side, because my highlighter, usually again with highlighters, you definitely see your pores a little bit more, you're emphasizing them a little bit more. On this side with my highlighter, I don't see my pores as much as I do with the Real Technique side. Again, I really love how the Blendiful applied my powder products. Looks really nice and airbrushed. I don't think if I were to go out, people would notice that I have two different applications on my face, but because I do know, I am seeing little things here and there. But so far, I'm really liking the Blendiful. I use the whole entire Blendiful, and I only use this part right here. I didn't use any of these areas at all. I use this little part right here to do my whole entire face, which is so crazy. And I really like it so far. It's really, really great. Is it worth your money? I don't know yet. So right now it is 1:54 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and do some things throughout my day. I'm going to come back and check in with you guys for my final thoughts to see which one held up better. Was it the Real Technique side or the Blendiful? But yes, I'm going to go throughout my day and I'll come back in a little bit to check up with you guys, see which side I liked better, and my final thoughts. So yes, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, so I am back. It is now 7:42 p.m. so it's been about 5 to 6 hours since I had this on. So yeah, this is it right here. I'm going to zoom you guys in so you guys can see everything. I haven't touched up anything. I literally just got home, so I haven't even touched it up. So I'm going to zoom you guys in so you guys can see and let me know what you guys think. So I think they both look really good. I asked my mom what side she liked, and she liked the Blendiful. I didn't tell her which was which. She just thought this side looked a lot more airbrushed and not as cakey as this side. And my boyfriend said the exact same thing. He said this side looks a little bit more oily, more wet looking. And then this side just looks more matte and just more kind of overall airbrushed and not as cakey. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and touch it up now using the tiny Blendiful just to see what it does. I'm really curious. So I'm just going to pat around the chin area because it kind of came off. And just tap all around the face just to kind of see if it does anything. That looks a lot better. I don't know. I feel like that really helped kind of not make everything look so cakey because I do have naturally dry skin. So that's why I was a little bit nervous with the Blendiful because it's not wet, it's not damp to absorb any extra product. So I don't know. I think they both look good, but I'm going to zoom you guys out and tell you guys my final thoughts. Okay guys, so I'm going to tell you guys my final thoughts and kind of my overall impression. So first, one of the really good things that I love about the Blendiful is that, as you guys see, I only use this part right here, and I use it for my whole entire face, which is absolutely amazing. This retailed for $18, including the small one, so altogether it came to $18, I believe, something like that, but it came with these two, the tiny one to touch up in your purse, and then the big one. I really like how this one is washable, so you don't have to keep buying new ones, because as you guys know, the beauty blenders get really, really dirty, and no matter how many times you wash them, they're still going to be stained, and there's still going to be product in the sponge, which I'm not a fan of because it gets really, really dirty and there's a lot of bacteria in this. So I do have to keep repurchasing these every couple of months. So that is really annoying. With these, you can just put them in the washer. You can wash them like that. You can just wash them under the sink and they're really nice and clean. I'll put in a video of me washing my sponge right here for you guys. But I really like how it just comes right out. It's not stained, and then you can use it the next day, and there's no bacteria inside of it because it's not a sponge. It doesn't absorb like a sponge does. Another thing I really liked about this is that I use it for my whole face, like I said, so I didn't have to use any brushes. If you're a beginner in makeup, you don't want to buy brushes, you don't have the money for that, this is great because you can use your whole entire face just with this, and it's great. So I really love that about it. I really liked it. I think it did an amazing job. It made my skin look really nice and airbrush and smooth, and it looked really good. But overall, I have to say, I really, really, really enjoyed mine. I definitely will be using this all the time, probably when I do my makeup as opposed to a sponge, because like I said, they get very dirty, and I tend not to wash mine too much because I'm lazy. So this one is great, and it's more clean, it's better for the environment, and you have two of them for only $18. Plus, you don't have to keep repurchasing it, so I think that's great. Let me know down below what you guys prefer. What side did you guys like better? Are you guys going to be buying this? Did you buy it? Did you like it? But yes, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.